I love a good salad, and I'm pretty picky about how I like my salad, and that I feel like there are a few elements that you have to do in order to make your salad delicious. And once you do those, you can go all sorts of directions and you end up with something that is so satisfying and so good, and that you can make yourself really easily. So today I'm gonna be showing you a kale salad. I love kale. I know it's like last year, 5 years ago, something like that people were talking about kale, but I still like it. I grow it in the summer. So I'm going to be making a kale salad with roasted sweet potatoes, avocado, red onion, Parmesan cheese, cashews, all kinds of good stuff. So to start out, I'm going to get my sweet potato roasting so that that's ready. And this is one of those things that if a bag of sweet potatoes, if I see it on sale at the store, I'll get it so that I have it on hand, and then I'll just roast one or two on, I don't know, Sunday, whenever my oven's on, and then I have it in my refrigerator ready to go to add to a salad. I normally don't just roast these to order when I'm in the mood for a salad, but sometimes, depending on what I'm in the mood for. I'm just gonna have it. You always wanna put your flat side down on the board. Quarter it, depending on the size of your sweet potato, you might need to have it again. Some are really big, some are really small. Don't overthink it. You just want to end up with cubes that are somewhat the size of, say, a pair of dice, like a die. And then put them out on a sheet tray. Toss them with olive oil and salt. You just want to make sure you have a single layer. And you want to have enough olive oil that they're coated. And a good pinch of salt. And I'm going to put these in a 400-degree oven for about 20 minutes. I'm just gonna keep an eye on them. Okay, now I'm gonna move on to my kale. So I've already washed my kale and I've already taken it off of the big, thick stems. And I store it in my refrigerator like this. I always store lettuce, kale, stuff like that in the salad spinner washed, because then you're halfway to eating your salad because it's already prepped somewhat. And it keeps it crispy, because if I had just put a bunch of kale in the refrigerator, not wrapped it or done anything like that, it would wilt. So now they're really crisp leaves, but too big. You want to cut them nice and small, not only so that it's easier to eat, but so that it breaks down. This is a really hearty leafy green, so you want it to break down with the dressing. So I'm actually going to slice this to make it a little, I'm just going to do a rough chop with my knife. You could tear it if you wanted to, but this is just going to make it a little faster to get those small pieces, because you want it to all become coated with the dressing. And the great thing about kale is that since it is a sturdy green, it can stand up to that dressing and stay dressed, and it just gets better with time. So if I didn't finish my salad, or I wanted to eat this tomorrow already dressed, it would be great, maybe even better sitting in that dressing, unlike lettuce, which you really want to do right before you're going to eat it, especially if it's a tender green. So again, nothing too specific in size, other than just small enough that it's easy to eat and it's easy to get dressing into all those nooks and crannies. And you could really use whatever kind of hearty green that you want. This is just regular curly kale. I like Tuscan kale. I think it's delicious. Sometimes I use that. You could even use a cabbage or a mustard green, something like that. It's all the same principle of coating those leafy greens with dressing. Okay. Okay. I want enough kale for about 2 salads, because that's what I'm going to be making here. I'm making a salad for my friend and myself, so we can have a nice little lunch. And I would say that's good. It's not going to wilt down too much, but a little bit as it sits with the dressing. So I have my dressing. This is my standard house vinaigrette that I always have in my refrigerator. I'm just going to give it a generous pour. Glug, glug, glug. And I'm also going to do a little pinch of salt, because it's kale. I wouldn't do this with a lettuce salad, but those kale leaves, I really like them to break down, and the salt helps them do that. So just a little pinch, and then I'm going to toss it with a salad tong. And I'm just going to set this aside while I prep my other ingredients. Okay, so Next, I am going to chop up a cucumber and then a red onion. So the cucumber, this is one of those little seedless Persian cucumbers. You can leave the skin right on. I'm just gonna cut it into quarters and then into a dice. I always think about the size of something when it comes to a salad where you don't have to cut it in order to eat it and get a little bit in each bite. So that's gonna be perfect for 2 salads, one of those. And then I have a red onion. I really love red onion and I'm like strangely liking it more the older I get. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen by the time I'm 80, how much I'm gonna love onion, but I really love red onion. Like something about it just, I think makes a salad perfect. And I didn't used to feel that way, so I'm coming around. Okay. Thinly slice these, and then, like I just said, you want a little bit in each bite. So I'm just gonna cut these a little smaller, but not a dice. Like I'm not looking for a dice. I just want it to be nice, small-ish pieces. Okay. Avocado. I love an avocado in a salad. Perfectly ripe because I buy them, keep them in my fruit basket, and then when they're perfectly ripe, I come up with some reason to use them. So this is soft to the touch, but not mushy. So I'm just gonna go around like that. Open, you know, sometimes you open it and you like think it's gonna be perfect and it's not. This one looks pretty good. So then I just do a little score. I'm actually gonna score it on my board so I don't go through to my hand. Don't want anyone telling me that that happened. And to get the pit out. Pop. Same score. See, old habits die hard. There we go, on my board. And then I'm gonna put this on at the very end because you don't toss your perfectly ripe avocado with your salad or you have a mess. You just put a little bit on the top with a little bit of salt. So that's to come. Okay, I'm gonna check on my sweet potato. That should be about finished, and then I'm going to get assembling. Oh, and so I like to use what I have on hand. I think I mentioned this. So I have some grapes that are really nice, and I think they're actually gonna be a nice little sweet pop. I know I have the sweet potato already going in, and I would certainly not go out and buy grapes just to make this salad, but since I have it, I think they'll be a nice little addition. So I am just gonna slice these in half. I would not leave them whole only because you wanna be able to get a little bit in each bite, and if they're too big, that won't happen. You'll just be eating grapes. And then I'm gonna add my Parmesan cheese at the top, or at the end on the top, and then I have cashews. I love nuts in my salad. Sounds strange, but it's true. They add crunch, they add protein. I think they add a lot. So these are salted roasted cashews. I bought them that way, and I'm just gonna give them a rough chop and add those to the top too. All right. My sweet potato looks great. It's nice, it's golden. I'm just gonna let it cool down for a little bit before I add it to my salad. All right, I'm ready to assemble my salad. I let the sweet potato cool down a little bit. I have my kale, which has had a chance to sit in the dressing, and now it's time to put it all together. All right, so I'm gonna add the sweet potato to the kale. I like the way it tastes when it has a chance to toss with that dressing. And then the avocado is gonna go on top. I'm also gonna add the red onion in. I think this will be good. Tossed in with that dressing. Gets a chance for those flavors to meld. So it's not just all sitting on top, because we are gonna top this with some stuff, and I don't want it to just be all toppings on top and kale on the bottom. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pile this up. And sometimes the sweet potatoes sink to the bottom, so you just wanna make sure you get an even amount in both. Okay, next I'm gonna do my cucumber. I'm gonna do that kind of in the center. And then my grapes. I really love the grapes. I think they add a nice little pop. Okay, some cashews. Top. Parmesan cheese. I like to use a microplane for this. This one is, the holes are a little bit bigger than a a skinny microplane, and I like that because the cheese isn't just fluffy. It's the texture that, I don't know, there's something about it where I'm just like, yes, a salad begs for this. And then next, my avocado. And I think I mentioned before, I like to do the avocado. I've already scored it, so it's in those bite-sized pieces. And then I like to season it once it's on top of the salad. So that if you get a bite of it, it's perfectly seasoned, just like the rest of the salad. And this really makes it a satisfying salad with the avocado and the cashews and all those yummy vegetables. Okay, spread that out a little bit. Now I'm gonna add just a little squeeze of lemon onto my avocado and just a little pinch of salt. And then I'm gonna add the rest of this red onion so you see that pretty purple. And then I can't wait to dig in. There you have my favorite kale salad. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll have a new recipe next week.